Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to F123 and welcome to the first real episode of the F123 My Team Career Mode for the opening race of the first season ever on this game in Bahrain. We have some things we have to do first before we go into Bahrain, so let's head straight into it. Here we go. So because we started as a midfield contender, we immediately get to choose a secondary sponsor. So quickly looking at what we have here. Immediately catching my eye is the last sponsor of Zenetto, the weekly goal of qualifying in P15 or better, weekly income $92,430, and if we do reach that goal bonus, it is, turn this down for you guys, it is $135.93,000. The contract extends to 97 days before having to re-sign, so I think this is the contract we are going to go with. So we're going to go ahead and place the sponsors onto the new car. I want to make this series fun for you guys. Last time out with the My Team, it was immediately going in and immediately going for title success. So this time we're going to try and climb through the field from a midfield challenger. So, now that that's set, let's go ahead and check the driver market. As you can see, we do have the legendary drivers that you can sign. However, we will not be signing any of them for right now. So we will see how this goes. Immediately just wanting to look and see what drivers we have. Alright. We see Felipe Drugovich. Hopefully he will be ready for the first race. Looks like we are the 5th best team on the vehicle performance comparison chart. Behind Alpine in aerodynamics. Again, behind Alpine and Aston Martin in the chassis. 5th worst. Fifth up from the bottom in chassis. Fourth best engine, and that is because we gave off a answer to the powertrain, and we have the best durability on the grid. So I think logical thing is to do chassis right from the start. We have good aerodynamics, good enough as of right now. So I think we are going to purchase a tire wear upgrade. Bahrain, very, very consistent of grinding tires. So that will come in, hopefully in time, for the Bahrain GP, so long as it does not fail. Commentator's curse? I really hope not. But now it is time to head into Bahrain for the opening race of the 2023 F1 season. So we know, actually, before going into Bahrain, we actually have enough to purchase another upgrade. So we're going to go ahead and purchase a major drag reduction upgrade that will come in after Saudi Arabia into Australia. So we'll be here for the third episode. Should put us up near our engine supplier of Mercedes on the aerodynamic comparison chart. Felipe seems to be overworked, and the team don't feel like he's getting enough free time around their daily routine, asking if we should grant him some time off or maintain this momentum. I'm going to allow him to take the rest of the day off. That'll give him plus 10 awareness heading into Bahrain, which will hopefully help him from making any mistakes. So the tire wear upgrade did work heading into Bahrain. Now it is time to head into qualifying. Here we go for qualifying. First race on the wheel. Go off. Not ideal. So George Russell on pole position. And we'll be starting last. Felipe Drugovich, P12, so he could be the team's first ever point scorer. We'll see in the full Grand Prix.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Perez, Hamilton, Norris, Gasly, Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Drugovich, Ocon, Joe, Tsunoda, Bottas, Albon, Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Sargent, De Vries, and Martin. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. A new season, then a clean slate where anything can happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today, as once again we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice. They've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
Okay, first race of the season, first chance for everybody to see what we can do. And unfortunately we're at the back of the grid, but let's show that you're better than this, and let's have a good race from here.
Alright, so starting at the back, pretty unfortunate, yes, but hopefully we can make it up. Starting on the soft tire, going to the mediums. So, let's go ahead, and as Mark says, show everyone what we can do. Felipe Drugovich starting from P12s. Hopefully he can try and score some points. If we can't, I'm hoping, however, that we can try and catch up to our young teammate for the formation lap. George Russell starting on pole position in front of Max Verstappen, the reigning champion, and probably the favorite to win the championship this year as well.
We have a bit more grip than that at the start. We need to roll the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well.
Oh, Felipe. Slight distraction, but we are back.
Okay, radar is clear. Weather is looking good for now.
Perfect. So, clear weather. For the time being. And that is upsetment. Nick, why? Alright, guess we'll just skip the formation. Right? Here we go, it's 5 red lights for 20 laps around Bahrain. It's lights out, and away we go! It's a good getaway as we immediately get past fellow American driver Logan Sargent. Big dive bomb into the first corner. And yes, we are right up to our teammate of Felipe Drugovich, trying to get past out of the third corner into the fourth. However, Oscar Piastri kind of showing us the cold shoulder. And that allows Felipe Drugovich to get back ahead. So we're being taunted by the Alpine of Esteban Ocon. So we'll show the cold shoulder right back to Piastri, and forcing him wide in turn 10. And we're up to P11. Trying to show the true pace of this car.
Right, let's focus now for the rest of the race.
You got it, Mark. So my goal is to try and, for this race, I believe we will try to just beat our rivals of McLaren and Alpine, which means beating Lando Norris in P9 and Pierre Gasly in P8. And already on the back of Lance Stroll, another team that uses Mercedes engines. Slight contact, but up into the points we go. Now, trying to rush the back end of the McLaren of Lando Norris. Lance Stroll still persistent, trying to stay on our gearbox.
Okay, DRS will be enabled for this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
DRS open on the Alpine as we made a dive down the inside in turn 1 on the McLaren of Lando Norris. Now focusing on the blue and pink car of Pierre Gasly. Try and stay within 1 second of the Frenchman to keep DRS. In half a second, DRS on a defenseless Alpine into turn 1, hot on the brakes, but make it stick, leave them no room, and we are up and ahead of Pierre Gasly into P8. And in a best of rest situation as it stands. Right now we have the Red Bull and Ferrari of Perez and Carlos Sainz battling it out for P6 in front of us. Right in front of them, the Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso. So, no DRS on Perez, but at the same time, Gasly and Norris are fighting it out, and they do not have DRS on us. So that is encouraging. .3 seconds the gap between me and Gasly. This is where our car truly is at the moment. Not much faster than this. Best we can possibly do is P8 unless something happens to the leaders. Max Verstappen going for the lead on lap 5. George Russell has led this whole race, this whole time, since the 5 red lights went out. However, Max Verstappen now trying to go for broke, trying to take the race lead away from George Russell and Mercedes. We slide out of the corner. That'll let Pierre Gasly catch up quite a bit, actually. Just for a second, he was less than a second behind and would be in DRS range. As he will be, actually. That scares me now. The Alpine will have DRS down the main straight. But this is who our fight is with. We've pulled away from Lando Norris and Lance Stroll, who are fighting it out for P10. Lance Stroll currently holds that spot. However, I believe Lando Norris will have DRS to get back past the Aston Martin. Yes, he does, and I believe our teammate of Felipe Drugovich has also made a overtake on the Aston Martin up into P11. Not quite. However, it is very hard to tell what is going on. Lando Norris currently in P10. Pierre Gasly, DRS open on that Alpine. Just try and force him a long way around. Squeeze him out. Nice and clean. As it is racing. And Lando has opened up a bit of breathing room to the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll, who will now begin to become under attack from our teammate. Here comes Pierre Gasly again down the main straight. Not much we can do there. We'll just wait for DRS down this next straight. In fact, we're going to make the move in the corner and DRS to help us pull away as yellow flags in front. It is a Mercedes, and I believe it is George Russell who is slow. Has he gone off, or is he retiring? Is Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton out of the session. Engine failure for the Mercedes man. That does slightly worry me, as safety car is out. And red flag in our first race. The red flag is out for Lewis Hamilton.
This is essentially a free stop, so let's think very carefully about our strategy for the rest of this race.
So we'll be going on to the mediums. 1 lap early. Wow. I know I had red flags on. I did not expect for the red flag to come out in our first Grand Prix. Either way, it has. We'll be going on to the mediums. And it's lights out, and away we go again as Felipe Drugovich, who got to restart in P10, has just made a move up into P8. I think he is still there, as we've made a move past Perez, Sainz, and Alonso, as again Verstappen and George Russell going for broke, fighting for the race lead. This red flag might have given us a very good chance at a first race podium, as we make a send down into turn 1 on the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc up into P3 with these new mediums. Going for broke, can we, from P22 on the grid, dead last, go and try and finish on the podium in our first race? This will be amazing if we can finish it off. However, if we can't, still amazing no matter what, and it seems like a possible double points finish, as Drugovich is clear.
Okay, clear. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 5 seconds.
And the Ferrari gets ahead of us on pace. However, that is to be noted as a mistake for Leclerc. As Nico Hulkenberg in the Haas out of the race, as we see Max Verstappen ahead of us going for George Russell.
Drivers just completed a pass to the lead.
Once again, Russell hanging on to the lead in turn 4 as they bump wheels. Max Verstappen, however, has now made the overtake. However, George Russell once again coming back to Max Verstappen. Who gets the better exit? Russell had the acceleration. These two are fighting so much that we went from a second behind to now right on the gearbox and making an overtake on George Russell. Verstappen takes the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix, and we take P2. This is absolutely incredible. From dead last on the grid, the red flag came out, as we will now chase after Max Verstappen. ERS enabled. However, I think we made a mistake by making an overtake on the world champion, because now the Red Bull will be able to use its most deadly weapon, its DRS. As Verstappen kind of just let him back through. He is not in our fight. However, we can try to pull off a first race Grand Prix win from dead last on the grid. That will definitely show that we are here. Martin Archer Racing is here, and we mean business. DRS Open on the Red Bull. Remember, going into this race, we have the 4th best engine. Bahrain, definitely a engine power. Circuit as Verstappen makes a mistake. He spun it. We now lead the Bahrain Grand Prix. We are going to slide into the pits to put on a new set of soft tires and try and go for broke. Lance Stroll with a 5-second time penalty. So we'll come out down the field behind Sainz, but ahead of Verstappen. Verstappen, with that mistake, will be so angry with himself. I know I would be. Mark, I swear to God, shut the frick up. So Lance Stroll with that 5-second time penalty will not quite sure why he has a 5-second time penalty. We'll have to figure that out at the end of the race. However, my guess is when this race gets underway, again, we can use these soft tires to blast through the field and maybe try and catch back up to our teammate. When it comes down to safety cars and pit strategy, I may not be very good in tight spaces. But I know that we are not a team that can go for race wins right now. Not yet. Soon we will, I'm hoping. But the first race is just not going to happen. Felipe, I believe, sitting in P4 right now, he can go for broke and try and go for a podium. But we went with the strategy of pitting onto the softs to try and blast through the field. These are brand new soft tires. So they will be extremely gripped up and revving to go once we go racing again, which I believe will be this lap. I believe safety car will be coming in this time. If not, soon. Yeah, back down to P19. I so badly want to get going on these soft tires. Really impatient right now. But yeah, Sainz and Verstappen, where they usually are not located. Verstappen usually right at the forefront. He had just taken the lead, and then coming through the corner, just lost the rear end and spun around. Science, I believe, had a issue in the pits, or just flat out refused to pit to change tires under the red flag and had to pit again. So safety car in this lap. Sainz kind of got the jump on us. However, we had the jump on Verstappen. That is exactly what we needed. Yellow flags again. However, up into P14. This is what we need. From these soft tires, being able to go for broke and try and push through the field. Up to P12 now. Behind Yuki Tsunoda. Down the inside we go. On the back of the Haas of Kevin Magnussen for P10 and the points down the inside, turn 11. We get past the Haas, back up into the points, chasing after Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin, and surprise, surprise, the Alpine of Esteban Ocon. Alonso not having the greatest second half of this race. He was the lead Aston Martin before, but now behind the two Alpines and his teammate, who does have that 5-second time penalty, as we kind of clobbered the rear end of Pierre Gasly. Gasly kind of shimmying and shaking. However, down the inside we go for on Pierre Gasly in turn 4. Now we are up into P7, chasing after the man from Canada in the Aston Martin, Lance Stroll. I believe he got caught cutting the corner and gaining a position, or he passed under yellow flags. That is the only thing I can think of, because I believe everyone changed tires under the red flag, so there was no reason for Lance to pit again. So there's no way he could have sped in the pit lane, is what I'm trying to say. Either way, here we go on the Canadian, round the outside in the final corner, as we have lost our ERS, energy recovery system. As going for P5 ahead of Oscar Piastri. We're up to P5. Lance Stroll trying to follow us through in a ill effort to try and gain as many places in the race before that 5-second penalty is reacted to at the end. So we are now behind our teammate for P4 with 5 laps to go. These soft tires starting to wear out. as I thought they would. However, they've done their job. We're back up to where our teammate is. We can try and collect a P4 and P5 finish in our first race as a F1 team. However, the battle now lies on which of us will lead the team home. And sorry, Felipe, but I want it to be me. As we go wide, a little bit on purpose, as we have DRS to try and pull away from Felipe. Now, I know I just said that P4 may be best we can go with these tires wearing out. But you guys know me. I want to go for the best I possibly can. And I'm seeing Perez and that podium as our teammate has an issue, so he'll be slow. However, hopefully it is nothing major, as we actually also had an issue where we could not use our battery. So hopefully he can defend that P5, and if he does lose it to Lance Stroll, hopefully he can finish within that 5-second gap so he doesn't lose that 5th place and he'll gain it back because of Lance Stroll's time penalty. But yeah, already 2.2 seconds the gap, as Charles Leclerc now battling George Russell for the lead of the race, and that is allowing Sergio Perez and Red Bull to gain on the top two. It's also allowing us to gain on the top three. 2.9 seconds now behind Perez. Not really pushing this car, as now 2.4 seconds the gap to Perez. So yeah, Felipe really slow.
Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 2.7 seconds.
And these three keep on fighting, we might have a chance on the last lap. As Lance Stroll does get past our teammate. However, hopefully Felipe can stay within that 5-second margin.
Come behind, start to drop back. There's a gap beginning to form. Let's make the most of it.
So we hit 2 laps to go. The gap now 1.8 seconds to Perez. And closing as the battle continues for the win. Two laps ago, I thought it was over and we would only be able to finish in P4, but now the gap at 1.3 seconds. I think we may be able to go for this podium. I believe our gamble may have worked. Wonders, absolute wonders. Charles Leclerc starting to spread his wings a bit in the lead as we come to the final lap of this Bahrain Grand Prix. Esteban Ocon makes the pass on our teammate. Perez, possibly looking for a move on George Russell, will be sizing up a move on possibly both drivers. So now DRS activated on Perez. George Russell closed the gap. This is madness on this final lap of the Grand Prix. Our teammate falls down as we make a big dive on Sergio Perez up into P3 now. On the final lap of this Bahrain Grand Prix, from dead last on the grid at the start to restarting from the red flag in P8 to leading the race at one point, watching Max Verstappen spin right in front of us to finish in P3 in our first race as an organization. Charles Leclerc wins the Bahrain Grand Prix for Ferrari. George Russell finishes P2. And we, the big story, from dead last all the way up to the podium. Ferrari take the first win of the season, just as they did in real life in 2022. Let's see what they can do in the game in F1 23.
So let's review the updated driver standings. Out with today's impressive results, Charles Leclerc steps into the championship league. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Charles Leclerc showed exactly how to manage himself out on the track today. He was almost flawless out there. Incredible stuff.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari take the lead at the top of the table. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Verstappen, despite having that spin, was able to make up positions up to P17. However, he will be quite upset with that. Ferrari step up into the Constructors' Championship lead, but with our P3 finish and Felipe Drugovich's P6, we are only 2 points behind the Scuderia in P2. 5 points ahead of Mercedes. What a race. What an opening start to the My Team series. And guys, if you have enjoyed this first race, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that little bell, get notified whenever I post new videos. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.